Hi everyone and welcome to our backyard. Today I am so excited to show you 5 Cricut projects that you can do so easy to enhance the look of your outdoor dining experience or even dining for two. Come on with me and let me show you how easy these are to do.
Step 1, click on Project File link, choose Customize. I've already made the husband one. I'm going to make the wife one. So I'm going to click on the hubby one and turn off that layer. We're going to make this one. It's already ready to go. Click on Make It. And you want to make sure that you mirror and click Continue. Selecting Infusible Ink Transfer Sheet. And I will meet you over at the maker. Now we're going to go cut the infusible ink. I'm using the green watercolor made for mug press. I've put my transfer sheet where you can see this white line. I'm going to load my mat. And click go. Unload the mat. Peel your design off. Now we're going to weed the design, so we'll be taking out everything that we don't want to show on the mug. So now I need to remove everything but these parts. Now we want to prep our mug. Take it out of the plastic. Take a lint-free cloth. Spray some alcohol. Wipe your mug. Then use a lint roller. You don't want any hair or lint or fabric strings. You don't want anything on this mug. Make sure you have it in the right direction. You want to line up the middle of here with your handle. So that's your line point. Make sure this bottom is at the very bottom of your mug. once you have it on, you want to firmly roll the design against the mug, nice and tight. You want to press to try to work out any possible bubbles. Make sure everything is tight against the mug. Then do the other side. Now we're going to put the mug in the heat press. Make sure you put it on a heat-resistant surface. This is not, so I'm going to use a glass tray that I have. And then make sure you have a window cracked open for ventilation. Power it on. The heat press will beep when it's ready. Once it beeps, now it's ready to put the mug in. I find that it's best to tilt your mug at an angle so as not to catch any of the transfer sheet or tape on the inside edge. Remember, it's very hot, but you're okay to have your hand on the handle. So tilt it at an angle and then guide it down in. Try to keep your handle in the middle as you're pressing down this lever. Now it automatically starts its heating up process. It will beep when it's done. Now that it's beeped, it's complete. You can lift up the handle or the lever. Be careful to only touch the handle. The handle is cool to touch. And then place it on a heat-resistant surface. I'm using my Easy Press mat. Power it off. Allow it to cool to touch before taking the transfer sheet tape off. So I waited approximately 10 minutes. And this was the first one I made. I wanted to show you. It might be kind of glare. This one, see, it's cool to touch. So still a little warm, but it's cool to the touch. So I can just remove all of the transfer tape. And there we go. Very nice. Very easy to do. Very cute. You want to begin your pillow project by first grabbing the project link in the description below. It will take you to this screen here. You can go ahead and click on Make It. The first thing you want to do is mirror that first mat, and then I'm going to move these fishes closer together to save some material, which I love about Design Space. It gives you that option to move things around so you can save on your supplies. So I'm going to click on the second mat down. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to mirror it. And then I'm going to move my fish closer together. Click on the next mat, mirror it. Click on the fish below and move it up. All right, I'm going to go back to the first mat, and now we're ready to cut. Go ahead and click on Continue. I'm going to select Infusible Ink Transfer Sheet. If you don't see it here, you'll want to go to Browse All Materials and find it there. I have it saved as a favorite because I love using Infusible Ink projects, so I've saved it as a favorite so I can get to it quick. So go ahead and click on Infusible Ink Transfer. I'm going to keep it at default pressure, and all we'll need is our fine point blade. All right, I will meet you over at the maker. Today I'm going to be using my green standard grip cutting mat, and this is the infusible ink I'm using. Where you see the circles, those are the colors that I'm going to be using for my fish. So I'm going to load the first color onto my mat. You want to put the ink side up. You always want to make sure that your hands are clean and free of any moisture before you start handling your infusible ink. We're going to load the mat. And when this button starts flashing, that's the go light. Go ahead and push that button. I can see that my little fishies there. I'm going to turn my mat over and just peel back the mat while pulling the transfer or the infusible ink off. This helps it not curl the material. And I'm going to load my next color. Here's my pillow. I've got the zipper at the bottom, and I've already inserted 4 pieces of butcher paper that's fit to the exact size of the pillow. And this will be sure to catch any type of ink that may bleed through. Although I've made these pillows before and nothing's bled through, but right, the first time you don't use something, that'll be the time it bleeds. So make sure you protect your inside of your pillow. I love these too because you can decorate both sides of the pillow. Today we're just going to do this one. And be sure before you press, you always want to use a lint roller. Even though you're taking them fresh out of the package, there is still going to be lint that could interfere with the success of your transfer. Same thing goes if you were working on a t-shirt. Okay, I know you can't see it, but there's all kinds of little fuzzies and things that came right off of that. And the first thing we want to do is preheat. Cricut makes it super easy for us. They have a heat guide on their website. I will link it down below in the description. I keep it a shortcut saved on my desktop, makes it so super easy. And what you want to do is before you start your project, you want to go to the heat guide and you put in the different things like, are you using the Easy Press 1 or 2, or are you using the Easy Press Mini? And you put in, if you're using, today I put in Infusible Ink Transfer Sheet and I put in the Infusible Ink Pillow Blank. And then it tells you exactly how to stack your stacking order and also how long to press and how long to preheat. So it's super, super helpful. I bring it up for every single project. All right, so my heat press is heating up right now, so I'll meet you back here in a moment. What I'm going to do is just preheat the whole pillow cover. And again, it's 385 for 60 seconds with light pressure. Take the butcher paper off. And this is a warm peel. What I like to do is grab my tweezers and we can just lift straight up. Just going to let it cool a little bit longer because it's hot right now, not so much warm, but hot. How cute is that? Got a little hair there that fell off with my press. And then you can see this is the back of it. It's not hot. I can touch it. Took all of the ink off and infused it right into this pillow cover. Okay, so I'm just going to set that right there. And we'll take this one off straight up. Oh my gosh, I love that color combination. It's so cute. Okay, and there we go. Super cute. Very easy project. You can throw these in the wash. They're not going to fade. You would just turn them inside out, I believe, and just use regular, mild detergent, and just don't use any fabric softener. It is so nice. I love the fact that I can have these color pillows outdoors and be able to throw them in the wash. It is a win-win. I love it. All right, I hope you enjoy this project.
First of all, I honestly cannot say enough about these wind spinners. We get a lot of compliments on them, and they were super easy to make in Design Space. Believe it or not, that orb, the circle part, is actually part of a Christmas ornament in Design Space, and I turned it into a wind spinner. And then here, these tablecloth weights. Oh my gosh, these are amazing, and I never would have thought that I could have made something like this with my Cricut. It just took an idea, hopping into Design Space and going, what can I do to make this happen? And it happened. It was so easy to put together. I love using tiered trays for my decor, whether I'm inside or outside. They're great for organization or for barbecues and parties. And it was a lovely place to display some two-sided signs. So no matter which side of the table you're sitting on, you have something fun to look at. These signs were so easy to make using wood blanks and some stain and some permanent vinyl. And I love the fact that you can just decorate, choose your own statements, your own sentiments. It's just truly amazing. And there's some other Cricut projects on this table too that were some of my upcoming projects. So little secret there for ya. And then these tablecloth weights, again, I actually did the 4 designs since there's 4 points of the table. So there's 4 different designs, and I just can't say enough about using tablecloth weights. It is a win-win anytime you're dining outdoors, especially with the breeze and little ones that might be pulling on a tablecloth. So enjoy. It's just so easy to use your Cricut. So much that you can do with it, and you can really turn your patio into what you envision your patio to be, your color scheme.
So you want to click the link for the description, and then once you're here, click on Customize. On the left is going to be your acetate for the actual orb part of the spinner, and these are the hanging parts. And so this is going to be cut out of party foil. Everything's ready to go. Click on Make It. I'm going to take this one and just spin it around so I can save some material. Everything else is fine. I'm going to click on Continue. Click Browse All Materials. I'm going to type in party foil, and it's right here. Click done. I'm going to keep it at default pressure, and we just need our fine point blade. Once we get to where we're cutting the acetate, we will just need to come back here and click this drop down menu and then select our acetate material. But the first two things to cut is going to be for the party foil. So I just wanted to show you that that's where you'll go. And I'll meet you over at the maker. Today I'm using my standard grip mat. And I first want to show you that on your acetate, it has a film on it. Be sure to find the corner of the film and just remove the film. You can do this before or after. I find it's easier to do it before you cut your project. I just wanted to show you that it does have that on there. Okay, so you're going to lay your party foil on your mat and load the mat. Once we load the mat, when this button flashes, we will push this button and it's going to cut the material. I'll do the same process on all three materials. Unload the mat, remove the excess, and there is our spinner. Take your scraper and remove the excess dots. Put our next piece of party foil on. And unload your mat. Remove the excess. Place your acetate on your mat, foil side up. Be sure to change your material settings in Design Space since we are changing the type of material we're using. So we'll go back to Design Space and change from party foil to foil acetate. So we are currently on party foil. We're going to use this drop down menu and we're going to hit browse all materials. I'm going to type in acetate and we're using foil acetate. I'm going to use the default pressure, and again, we're going to use a fine point blade. And we're going to load our mat. And again, we're just going to pull off the excess. And just pull each one of these off. I can clean my mat later. And here are our pieces. Now, this is the beading filament string. It's called bead stringing wire that I'm using. I've already cut one piece. This piece here that we're making is so that when we put this together, it's going to be like in the shape of an elongated ball. This is going to help make it a more round ball shape. Okay, So this goes on the inside of the orb. I have one made to show you real quick. So this is going to go from the top to the bottom and just kind of bring it in so it's more cylinder. So in order to do that, you're going to cut the 1 4.5 inch wire. You're going to fold it over, add a crimp bead, and just smoosh it with your pliers. Okay, so I did this side already. Now I'm going to do this side so you can see how it's done. So you take your end of your wire, you take a crimp bead, which just looks like that. You put it in the wire. It's actually easier for me to do it this way. So thread your crimp bead onto your wire, fold it over to make the loop, and just adjust so that you have about 3 inches. You only need this loop to be the size that a brad will fit through. Okay, so nothing has to be perfect, just approximate. I want this to be about 3 inches when I'm done with my loops, so that actually looks good right there. That's at the 3-inch mark. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my pliers, and I'm going to just crimp, smash this down, make sure it's nice and tight. If you have any excess wire, take a pair of scissors or wire cutters and just snip it off. Now keep in mind too, you can also use fishing line or bead filament, okay? It doesn't have to be this specific wire, okay? Mostly clear or silver, I think, works best. Okay, so now we've got our wire to go on the inside. Now take one of your brads, place your acetate foil side down onto the brad, all 4 pieces. Take one end of this loop and just place it on the brad, and then open your brad, flatten it out. This is going to be the top of the spinner. This brad is going to be the bottom of the spinner. So we want to put our streamers on first. So take one end of either end of your streamer. I'm doing this, you can keep it long if you like. I need mine kind of short because I don't want people banging into them when they're hanging off of my umbrella. I'm going to actually start with the small star one. So just thread your star through the brad. Take one end, put it through the bottom. I'm going to take this other end and bring it up and thread it through. Okay? So now we want to build the bottom of this. So you're going to take one loop and you're going to put the brad through the top, the foil side. Then you're going to reach for the piece right across from it and bring it into the brad like that. And you basically want to do that with the rest of your pieces. You're going to have quite a handful when you're done. Just pretend like you're learning how to play cards when you were little and you felt like your hand was so full of cards. That's the same, kind of the same feeling. So each piece, just bring it, stick it into the brad. And then remember that wire piece you have inside. That's the last part that you want to thread on. Okay, so I've got all my pieces together. Everything's in the order that it should be. I'm going to reach in there. Sorry, this is hard to probably catch on film, but this is the wire, right? It just kind of slips out. It's okay. Just poke it back through and put it through the brad just like we did with all the other pieces, and then flatten out your brad. Just like that. Okay, so once you have your brad flattened out, then you can take it and just easily just shape it how you like. I'm not going to spend too much time on it now, but you can just kind of poke them out, and there you have your wind spinner. Now all you need to do is be able to make something to hang from it, okay? So again, we're going to be using, I like to use these hooks. You could just put fishing line, tie it, make it as long as you want, and tie it where you want it to hang. I want to be able to use these off and on for different party or events, and so I'm going to make little hooks for them so I can easily just hook them onto my umbrella when I want them and then just quickly take them down when I don't. So I'll show you that process in case you want to do that same process. Okay, so here is my wire again. This one I'm actually going to hang in a different part of my yard, so I want to make it kind of long because I'm not sure where I'm going to hang it yet. But you do whatever size wire you need for where it's going to go. Okay, and then just cut it off. Put your crimping, take your crimping bead, thread it through, bring it all the way down, thread your wire halfway through. You can have 4 pieces on this side, 4 pieces on this side. Just string your wire right through. Bring the short wire up through the crimping bead. And basically you're going to be hold both pieces and just pull the long one. I like just a little bit of a loop. Once I have it exactly, this is how I kind of like it. Then you want to take your pliers and just crimp it down. I love crimping beads. You should have a ton of them on hand. They come in handy for so many projects. Okay, and then just take your pliers and crimp it down. And then you can cut the excess off. Now I'm going to take this end, crimp bead, you thread it through the end, and you just basically make a loop. So I'm going to take this jump ring, put it around, and just make a loop, and then crimp it down with your pliers. Now you can take your pliers and open up your jump ring and hook your loop and close your jump ring. And there you have it. I'm just going to cut my excess wire from here. And now you have a nice hook to hang your spinner. You can hang it from a tree, hang it from wherever you like, and let it spin. And these spin so beautifully, so easily in the wind. And the sparkle party foil really picks up on the sunshine. These are just amazing wind spinners. I love these. First, you're going to want to grab the project link in the descriptions below. When you land here, click on Customize. This is your template, the circle right here, just so that you can size your element and decide what size you want to either shrink or enlarge your design. This one is set up perfectly for this. We're going to be making the coral one today. So I'm going to shut the layers off here. I'm going to group them and then turn that layer off because all we need today is the coral. It's already set to the color that we want. I'm going to go ahead and click Make It. Click Continue. It's hooking up to my machine. And I'm going to choose Browse All Materials. Today I happen to be using adhesive foil. You can choose, more than likely, if you're making tablecloth weights, you probably want to use premium or an outdoor vinyl. But this is what I'm using today. And I'm going to go ahead and load more pressure. All right, I will meet you over at the maker. So now we want to load our vinyl onto our standard green mat. You can use this one or the light mat, depending on what material you're using. I'm going to use my brayer just to smooth that on real good. And we're going to load our mat. And when the light flashes, press the C button for go. Press the unload button. Take your vinyl off. I'm going to cut to where my design is so I can save my scrap and use it for another time. Now we're going to weed everything but the piece of coral. Take your hook. Now I'm just going to weed the inside pieces. So your acrylic piece comes with protective layer on both sides. So you want to peel off one layer and grab a piece of transfer tape. You can, if you're comfortable, just peel this off and put it right on. I'm going to show you the transfer method. So you want to peel off, and this piece, by the way, I've used over and over. You can use your pieces multiple times until it loses its stickiness. I'm going to burnish the design real well onto the transfer paper. This is going to help us transfer it to the piece of acrylic. Now I want to peel that layer off. Just peel it back, watch it carefully. If it looks like it's not, might need some more rubbing, go ahead and rub it a little bit more. There we go. And now you just want to line up the design, how you want your design to go. I want mine tilted just a little bit to the right. And again, you want to just burnish it on. I love this project because it's so easy and so quick. And you can always change these out with other designs for different seasons. It's one of my favorite things to make. Has huge impact. Say that so I can use that piece again. Okay, so now I'm going to peel off the back and our design is ready to put together. So I have these for weights here. I wanted to show you. This will be the back. This color works for me, so I'm not worried about painting this one, but I did want to show you one that I did make. And one of the reasons why I like this idea so much is you can interchange the tablecloth weights seasonally. And so as an example, here's one that I've already made for a different type of season. And I simply, because I didn't want this blue color, this is how the weights come in this color blue, which works great for my table decor. But I took this one and I used this exact kind of paint. I got it at, I believe I got this at Walmart, but you can get it in any hardware store. And I put 2 coats on it, and this will last for a good long time. So these can just, you can take it off at any time and switch your other designs with these clips. So I just wanted to give you that idea that you can always change them out seasonally. Okay, so let's quickly put this one together. So the weights go on the bottom. I just use needle nose pliers. And we're going to hook the weight on first. Actually, let me do the weight last since it's heavy. So you're just going to open up your jump rings. I put 2 for the top and 3 together for the bottom. You want to open it kind of wide in order to get it around or into the acrylic hole. Once you have it on there, then you simply just clip it back up. Okay, so that's the part that hooks into the clip. And then now we'll do the weight one. So you can see this is actually 3 jump rings here. So remember to open it wide to go around the acrylic piece. And there we go. This is done. So now you just simply clip this on, put it through the loop, and this is the part that you pinch onto your tablecloth. And this will help keep your tablecloth from moving all around while you're having your dining experience. Such a simple DIY project that anybody can make. This is so easy. So step 1 would be selecting your file. It will bring you to this page, and then just go ahead and select Customize. We're going to be making this one right now. It's ready to go and sized perfectly for the signs that I have. I'm going to click Make It and click on Continue. Choosing Premium Outdoor Vinyl. I'm choosing More Pressure, and it says to load our fine point blade. I'll meet you over at the maker. Okay, so we're going to place our vinyl on our mat with the color side up and load our mat. And when this light flashes, go ahead and push it for go. Then press the load button to unload your mat. Remove your vinyl. I'm going to cut this down just a little bit and save this piece as a scrap because someday I may need that. And same thing with my transfer tape. So since it's vinyl, we're going to first weed the design around the letters. And now I'm going to place my transfer tape on top so I can transfer the design to inside of this sign here. I'm going to burnish it on both sides. This is the other side of the sign. That's why we're calling it a two-sided sign. So this is one side, and then now I'm going to do the inside of this one. That way, when you have your sign sitting on your tray or in a place where you can see it from both sides, you have a design on both sides. That way, you're not just looking at a blank side of your sign. So these are really, really good for the tiered trays, because tiered trays, quite often you can see around the tiered tray. So I'm just going to eyeball putting this in the middle. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to save this piece of tape to use at another project. So there you go. Super simple and pleasing to both sides.